right, so get this. We are going deep into AI music generation today.
So cool.
Diving headfirst into this YouTube video all about Refusion. It's this free tool that people are saying is like a total game changer for making music. So, like, what is it about this thing that makes it tick, and why is everyone freaking out about it? Let's find out.
Well, one of the things that really stood out to me right away is how accessible Refusion is.
Okay.
I mean, it's completely free, which is pretty amazing when you think about how many of these powerful AI tools out there are, stuck behind these subscription paywalls. It seems like they're really trying to make music creation open to everyone.
Yeah, the video host was like totally gushing about how incredible and free Refusion is, and they just jump right into showing you how it can create all this different music just from typing in text prompts.
Wow.
It's almost like having this like AI composer just like waiting for your instructions,
It really is, and that's like a really key point here. Refusion isn't just copying or like mimicking songs that already exist. It's actually taking your ideas, like the ones you write down in text, and turning them into music.
Right.
So that means you don't need to spend years like learning music theory to start playing around with composing.
They whipped up everything from like chill lo-fi tracks to songs with lyrics, and all they did was type in what they wanted to hear.
Wow.
It even has this ghostwriter feature that can come up with lyrics from scratch or build on lyrics that you give it.
It's really interesting, that ghostwriter feature.
Yeah.
It suggests that AI is moving past just understanding like the structure of music, and now it's starting to understand the nuances of language and like what makes a good song. Could this be how songwriters collaborate in the future?
Right. Imagine giving Refusion an idea like Heartbreak in a cyberpunk city, and it gives you back a full song with lyrics and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the creative possibilities are just mind-blowing.
Totally. And the video actually highlights how Refusion can handle some pretty complex musical requests. Like the host asks it to hold specific notes and emphasize certain words in the lyrics, and even blend totally different genres together, like opera and rap.
Oh, yeah, that part was wild. Hearing those operatic vocals over a hip-hop beat was something else.
Yeah.
It definitely makes you wonder if AI might be the key to breaking down those old genre boundaries and creating totally new kinds of music.
It's a real possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, after all, AI doesn't have to follow the same musical rules or traditions that we do. It can blend together things that seem completely different in ways that we might never even think of.
Right. Yeah.
This could lead to some seriously innovative and unexpected music.
The video host did point out, though, that Refusion's vocal features aren't always perfect.
Right.
They sometimes sound a little weird or inconsistent. They mentioned that it's kind of a common problem with other AI music generators, too.
Yeah, consistency is a big challenge in AI development, especially when you're dealing with something as expressive and nuanced as the human voice. But what's interesting is that Refusion gives you some tools that can help you control the final output more.
You mean like those sliders they showed in the video?
Exactly. Those sliders let you adjust things in the music, like how loud certain instruments are or the overall mood of the track. This kind of control is really important to make AI music tools feel less like a black box and more like an instrument you can collaborate with.
And then there's that seed number thing too, right?
Yes.
They said that using that helps to get a more consistent style when you're generating music.
Seed numbers. They're basically starting points for the algorithms that make Refusion work. Think of it like planting a seed. The same seed in similar soil will usually produce a similar plant. Well, in this case, the same seed number will give Refusion a consistent way to generate music in a particular style.
So it's not just spitting out random notes every time you hit generate square. You can actually steer the AI towards the specific sound that you're going for.
Yes, exactly.
Pretty cool. But there's more to Refusion than just creating music from nothing. They have this extend feature, which seems like where things get really interesting.
The extend feature really taps into the potential for humans and AI to work together on music.
Okay.
Imagine having a musical idea like a melody or a chord progression or even just a riff.
Right.
And then you give it to Refusion.
Like planting a little musical seed and letting the AI grow it into a whole composition.
Yes, exactly.
The video had this really cool example where they took a 7-second guitar sample and Refusion turned it into a full song with drums, bass, and even lyrics. It was amazing.
It's remarkable because Refusion isn't just copying or rearranging that sample. It's actually understanding the musical ideas in it and using them as a starting point for something new.
It's almost like having an AI bandmate that can jam with you and take your ideas to the next level. So we've talked about creating music from scratch and building on existing ideas, but what about taking existing music and transforming it? That's where Refusion's cover feature comes in.
Yeah, the cover feature is basically like giving Refusion a piece of music and saying, reimagine this in a different style. The video shows them taking a guitar sample and turning it into a full-blown cover song, which is pretty wild.
It is. But the video host did say that Refusion's cover feature wasn't quite as impressive as another AI music tool called Suno. They did find a practical use for it, though, cleaning up a lo-fi sample by removing what they called shimmer.
Shimmer in music production usually refers to audio effects like reverb or delay, which are often used in lo-fi music to create that kind of hazy, atmospheric sound. It seems like Refusion can isolate and remove those effects, which could be a quick and easy way for producers to clean up their audio.
So it's like Refusion can be an AI audio engineer helping you refine and polish your music, even if you don't have access to professional studio tools. That's pretty neat. But wait, there's more. Refusion has even more tricks. They also have this remix feature, which seems incredibly powerful.
The remix feature takes this idea of manipulating existing music to a whole new level. It lets you isolate a specific part of a song, like a verse or a chorus, and then replace it with a new AI-generated version while keeping the rest of the song the same.
It's like having a musical scalpel.
Yes.
You can pinpoint exactly which part of the song you want to rework and have Refusion create something totally new for that section.
Yes.
The video shows how you can even download individual tracks or stems, as they're called, for further editing.
Stems are basically the individual instrument tracks that make up a song.
Okay.
Think of it like a multi-track recording where you have separate tracks for the vocals, drums, bass guitars, and so on. Traditionally, getting stems meant recording each instrument separately or carefully isolating them from a mixed recording. But with Refusion, you get those stems straight from the AI, ready to be mixed and mastered however you want.
This is huge for musicians and producers. It's like having a virtual studio band at your fingertips.
Yeah. Exactly. Imagine being able to take the drums from an AI-generated track and mix them with your own guitar recording, or isolate the vocals and add your own harmonies. It opens up so many possibilities for creative experimentation and collaboration.
But here's where things get really mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The video ends with this almost philosophical message about how Refusion learns from every interaction, potentially shaping the future of music based on individual preferences.
It's a fascinating thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every riff you create, every song you listen to, it all feeds back into the system, refining its understanding of what we like and how we create.
It's like Refusion is developing its own musical taste buds, learning to anticipate what we want, and maybe even influencing our future listening habits. That's both exciting and a little bit, well, unsettling, don't you think?
It definitely raises some interesting questions about what music creation will look like in the future and the role of AI in shaping our cultural landscape.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here already, from generating original music to transforming existing tracks, and even this whole concept of AI learning our musical tastes. It's clear that Refusion is a powerful tool with some seriously exciting possibilities.
It is, and I think what makes it so compelling is that it's pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible with AI in music. It's not just a novelty, it's a glimpse into a future where AI could become an integral part of the creative process.
And that brings up a really important question that the video only briefly touches on.
You're talking about how this technology might impact the music industry and what it means for human musicians.
Exactly. If AI can create music that sounds just like something a human made, what does that mean for the livelihoods of musicians and songwriters?
It's a valid concern and one that we need to explore further.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick pause here, but when we come back, we'll be diving into some of the bigger questions surrounding AI music and how it might impact the music industry. Stay tuned. Welcome back. So before the break, we were getting into some pretty serious stuff about how AI music might change the music industry. Like if AI can write a catchy pop song or a soulful ballad, what happens to human musicians?
It's a question that a lot of people are asking, and it's not an easy one to answer. I mean, throughout history, new technologies have always shaken things up in creative industries. Think about the printing press, photography, synthesizers. Each one of those made people worry about what would happen to human creators.
So you're saying that AI music is just the next chapter in that story?
Exactly. And just like those other innovations, AI music has the power to both challenge and empower musicians. It's not necessarily a situation where AI wins and humans lose.
Okay, I can see that. But how would that actually work? How can human musicians adapt and succeed in a world where AI can seemingly do it all?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me about Refusion is how it emphasizes collaboration. Remember that extend feature we talked about? It's all about taking a musical idea created by a human and using AI to build on it.
It's like having an AI songwriting partner. You bounce ideas off each other and create something that neither of you could have done alone.
Exactly. And think about the stems feature. It gives musicians access to individual instrument tracks generated by AI, which opens up a whole world of possibilities for remixing, rearranging, and adding their own personal touch.
Yeah, you could take a drum loop from Refusion and add your own bass line to it, or use the chords that the AI generated as inspiration for writing your own melody. It's like a creative springboard.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to incorporate AI into the creative process, not being replaced by it.
Hmm.
Human musicians bring their own unique experiences, emotions, and perspectives to music that AI, at least for now, can't replicate.
It makes you wonder if we're about to see a whole new wave of music, a blend of human and AI creativity that pushes the limits of what we thought music could be.
I think that's a very real possibility, and it's not just about professional musicians either. Refusion's accessibility could open doors for people who always dreamed of making music but didn't have the technical skills or resources. Imagine a world where anyone, no matter their background, can express themselves through music with the help of AI.
It's a really exciting thought, but let's be real, AI music tools are still pretty new.
Yeah.
They're not going to completely replace human creativity, are they?
Of course not, but they are developing very quickly. Think back to the early days of synthesizers. People were skeptical, even dismissive, but now synthesizers are an essential part of music across so many genres.
And that brings up another interesting point. We've been talking about AI as this potential threat to human musicians. But what if it actually creates new opportunities?
That's a great point. The rise of AI music could lead to entirely new jobs and specialties in the music industry. We might see AI music producers, AI music engineers, or even AI music therapists.
It's like the whole industry is going to have to adapt and evolve as this technology develops.
Exactly, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
Speaking of playing out, I'm curious to know what you think about the sound of the music that Refusion creates.
Hmm.
The video showed quite a few different styles,
Mm-hmm.
but does it actually sound good?
That's the big question, and like with any art form, it's subjective. What one person finds beautiful, another might find boring, but based on what I heard in the video, Refusion can create music that's surprisingly nuanced and engaging.
I have to say, I was impressed by the range of styles that could handle everything from lo-fi beats to orchestral pieces. But I'm wondering, does AI music have a certain sound to it? Can you tell it was made by a machine?
That's a really interesting question. I think as AI music technology gets more advanced, it's going to become harder and harder to tell the difference between music composed by humans and music generated by AI. But that doesn't mean it'll all sound the same.
Right. It's not like all human composers sound alike.
Yeah.
Each one brings their own unique voice and style to their music.
Exactly. And as AI music tools become more sophisticated and personalized, I think we'll see a similar variety of styles emerge in AI generated music.
So it's not about AI replacing human composers,
Yeah.
but rather expanding the possibilities of what music can be, maybe even inspiring new forms of creative expression that we haven't even thought of yet.
I think that's a great way to put it. AI music isn't about replacing human creativity. It's about adding to it, giving us new tools to explore the vast and always changing world of music.
Okay, this has been a really incredible deep dive. So far, we've looked at the amazing things that Refusion can do, talked about what it could mean for the music industry, and even gotten into the philosophical implications of AI learning our musical tastes.
It's been a really fascinating conversation, and I think we've only just started to scratch the surface.
I agree. There's still so much to discover, so much to learn about this rapidly evolving field. But for now, we're going to have to move on.
It's been a pleasure talking about this with you.
And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has made you curious and given you something to think about. The world of AI music is full of possibilities, and we encourage you to explore for yourselves until next time.
Wow, we've been on quite a journey with Refusion, huh? From its crazy capabilities to what it could mean for the music industry. There's a lot to think about.
For sure, and it's clear that AI music isn't just some sci-fi dream anymore.
Yeah.
It's really here, and it's changing how we make music fast.
We've talked about the exciting things, the possibilities, but I think we should also talk about some concerns about this tech, like where do we draw the line between being inspired by something and straight up copying it? Could an AI end up making something that's basically a ripoff of a human artist's work?
That's a question that's going to become more and more important as AI music tools get better and better. The line between inspiration and imitation can be hard to see even for human artists, but with AI it's even trickier because these systems learn by looking at tons of data, including music that's already out there.
So there's a chance that an AI could accidentally plagiarize a human artist. It's definitely something we need to be aware of, and it brings up a bunch of questions about copyright laws and intellectual property in this new world of AI. Like, who owns the rights to music that's made by an AI? Is it the person who made the AI, the person who used it? Or does the AI itself have any ownership? These are all new legal areas that we haven't figured out yet.
It's like we're entering this whole new age of creativity, and the old rules just don't fit anymore.
You got it. And it's going to take time for those rules to catch up. It's an interesting challenge for lawyers, musicians, and the people who make these AI tools.
And it's not just legal stuff, right? There are also bigger societal questions about how AI music might change our relationship with creativity.
Definitely. Like, if anyone can make a catchy song just by clicking a few buttons, does that make human creativity less special? Does it make us lazy or less motivated as musicians?
It's like that old argument about technology making us dumber, but now it's about music.
Right. But I think it's more complicated than that. AI music tools can definitely make some parts of making music easier and more accessible, but that doesn't mean we don't need human creativity, ingenuity, and emotion in music. Those are things that, at least for now, are still uniquely human.
It goes back to that idea of AI being a partner, not a replacement.
Precisely. I think the most exciting thing about AI music is that it can help us be even more creative. It can give us new tools and ways of seeing things that we might not have come up with on our own.
It's like having an entire orchestra right there at your fingertips, or a songwriting partner who gets your ideas and helps you bring them to life in ways you never expected.
And that's where I see the true potential of AI music, not as something that will take over from human musicians, but as something that pushes us to be more creative, more innovative, and more expressive.
I really like that it's like a challenge to step up our game, to explore new sounds, and to embrace what this amazing technology can do.
Absolutely, and we're just at the beginning of this journey. Who knows what incredible music is waiting for us as AI keeps evolving and inspiring us.
This has been a really great deep dive. We've gone from the technical details of Refusion to the big philosophical questions about AI and creativity. It's clear that AI music is something we need to pay attention to, and it's only going to become more powerful and influential in the future.
It's been awesome exploring this topic with you.
And to all of you listening, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it as interesting and thought-provoking as we did. As always, keep exploring, keep listening, and keep your minds open to all the possibilities that music has to offer.